What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219. Stand up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hi, good evening. I am Marcella DeLavalette Amos, and welcome to Dope Living TV Live. Tonight, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. Today is Juneteenth, the day we celebrate Juneteenth. But before we get started, let me say our disclaimer first. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or our affiliates. So today we have a lot to talk about. Are we really still free? What exactly are we celebrating with Juneteenth? Is it a holiday? Is it a celebration? Have we had any progress? I'm not sure, but let me invite my team members to come on with me. First, we will say hi to Kevin McLemore. Hey, Kevin.
Hello there, Miss Amos. And you are, if I can say this without going to HR help, you're looking fine as can be, young lady.
Thank you. Thank you. And all right. So, yes, we're going to be talking about Juneteenth. And they're all saying that, we're free and we've made so much progress. And yes, we've made some progress. But let's just talk about Juneteenth. First of all, can we get a short video of exactly what Juneteenth is?
So you've likely heard of Juneteenth. Perhaps you're not sure exactly what that is. Well, it is now a national holiday signed into law by President Biden back in 2021. Juneteenth is considered America's second Independence Day, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. After 4 bloody years, the Union defeated the Confederacy to win the Civil War and abolish slavery in April of 1865. There were nearly 4 million enslaved people in the U.S. at that time. Union armies began marching through the southern states, freeing thousands of the enslaved each day. The news took months to reach Texas, the westernmost state in the Confederacy. On June 19, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger and 2,000 Union troops rode into Galveston, Texas, and told the enslaved of their freedom. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and the enslaved. Granger's words spread through Texas all at once. People found out the war was over and they were free. Their joyous, spontaneous celebration gave birth to Juneteenth. Juneteenth, the combination of the words June and 19, commemorates when the last enslaved people in the South were finally set free. Many of them were met with violence, even death when they tried to leave. Yet the promise of freedom extinguished fear and fueled generations of indestructible people. Former slaves gathered on Juneteenth the next year and the year after that. And over the decades, Black communities observed the holiday with festive family gatherings, colorful parades, and bountiful barbecues. Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday in 1980. Juneteenth is now a national holiday. It's a celebration of independence, the day all Americans were truly free. Well, Juneteenth has grown in popularity with many events planned all across the nation and right here at home in Jacksonville. For a list of those local events, we heard McKenna talking about them. You can visit our website or our First Coast News app.
Okay, before we go forward, I would like to welcome Moby. Hey,
Hey, what's happening,
hey,
family?
Moby, how are you?
Oh, you see what's going on?
Okay, just one thing I would like to say, that even though we say that Juneteenth, June 19th, was the end of slavery, I just want to correct one of the misconceptions. The 13th Amendment, which ended slavery, was passed. Well, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read it anymore. But Juneteenth did not totally end all slavery. Delaware and Kentucky were not
Included.
yes, until December 6th of 1865.
Yeah.
So you guys, what does Juneteenth really mean to you?
Well, truthfully, to me, it was Father's Day. Also, my first son was born on June 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find out, how all that came together until we were in Texas. The first time I celebrated it was in the 80s.
Okay.
I was in Texas. And, I didn't know nothing about it. I'm from up north. We didn't know nothing about it because it wasn't taught.
Yes.
So to me, I didn't know. So, I'm thinking it's something that was just Texas only. I didn't know until it was explained to me, what it actually was. So I didn't know what it was.
So now that you know, what does it mean to you?
It actually means that we need to get our stuff together, and actually do something with this, because it was meant for us to actually fail. And it seems like, you think about, as generations pass, it's going down more and more and more until just recently, this youngest generation here, where we were watching that. I was watching that video, and how things are being pushed back in the opposite direction now, which are going in the right way. But we need to continue to educate, and it's not just our culture; it's other cultures coming in on that and helping us. So,
and Kevin, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, you know something, the video, your introduction, Mosby, adapting the Juneteenth to the birth of his son and making the connection, it's teaching our young people the truth, and then the truth within ourselves. Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or acceptance of the way that things are, but it's supposed to be a celebration of progress, the emancipation and proclamation of the freedom of Black people. I mean, for people that look back, it was 2 years after the signing of the Emancipation and Proclamation that slaves in Texas knew that they were free. So they got 2 years of free labor. A lot of people died. There were a lot of women that gave birth to the slave owners at that time, which is the reason why, our race, when we talk about our race compared to everyone else, we say melanated, because we come from, you talk about 50 Shades of Gray, it's 50 shades. There's a couple of million shades of us.
57K.
Yeah, 57K. So it's an affirmation despite of the most painful part of our history, and we have to recognize that. That's the reason why it is so important for all Americans, no matter where you hail from, no matter what your skin tone is, for you to understand the truth about your history and hold your forefathers accountable for their participation, not your participation in history, because you control your history by overcoming your own personal biases and let freedom ring. So, what Juneteenth is to me is what we do here every single day, to have these conversations that seem to be uncomfortable for some, but conversations that need to be done. And I've said this 100 times over, conversations are not designed to make you comfortable, it's designed to make you think. So I think when you look at Juneteenth and where you are and where you sit and stand right now,
yes,
think about the difference of what you're doing with your life and how you're celebrating the forefathers and foresisters that gave up their life in order for you to be present in this day. That's how you celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Okay. And, for our viewers, we thank you for always supporting us. And you can also comment in the comment section, what does Juneteenth means to you? I didn't find out until I was in my 30s about Juneteenth. A friend's mom who's big into civil rights and all, she said, happy Juneteenth Day. And I was like,
It sounded like it was mispronounced. It was like
I thought I was going to get a whooping in my 30s by this lady because she was hot. And I had never heard about it. It's like Maurice, I believe, said, it's not taught.
Nope.
It is we heard, okay, Emancipation Proclamation, slaves were free. They really weren't free then. And it's what certain people wanted us to know.
Exactly.
They want us to know the truth. For me, Juneteenth is supposed to mean freedom, equality, but are we really free? Do we really have freedom? The Pledge of Allegiance talks about freedom for all. And do we really have that? We don't. We really don't. I'm gonna a quick story. My son was sick in the year of 2012. I had to call paramedics and police. You had to call the police with the paramedics to come in so that we can get him to the hospital. But instead, they murdered my son. Are we still free? Every day in the news, you still hear of our Black sons and daughters being shot for what? Breathing while Black. So are we really free? Go ahead.
I had some of the most strangest conversations, people asking that question, and I asked this question of them. I say, you know what? you say, you're not prejudiced against, me. I know you, you know me, and we're good. But to me, a closed mouth is just as much as a conviction as, carrying a rope. Because basically you're empowering the people that are doing oppression because you're not speaking up against them. Now, these younger with the Black Lives Matter movement, these younger kids are getting involved. They're getting educated, and all of them are not just going out because a lot of people don't know what Black Lives Matter means. It matters to me if I'm paying the same amount of money for insurance that a white person is, that when my claim comes due, I need to be treated just like him. That matters. My voice matters. My vote matters. Not just his vote or, their votes matter, but my vote matters. That's what Black Lives Matters mean. Not just being a citizen, but what we do matters as human beings.
Let's welcome our life coach, Jeff Relaford, to the stage. Hi,
Jeff. Hey, y'all, what's going on?
J Real.
Jeff,
you ain't your brother?
We're talking about the Juneteenth and what it means to us. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Oh man, this is really tell you the truth. This opened up a lot of different things to my eyes now that I'm kind of looking back. It kind of reignited some other stuff with Black camaraderie. But Juneteenth to me means it gives Black folk another outlet and a platform for us to be united in. But like I was just telling my wife, we're given so much stuff. We could give, and we take. But the thing is, we don't have a level of consistency. So I think this is also a different way for us kind of to come together as one again. And we could try to create a level of consistency, not just where it's something where it's equal in one part of the nation, but then we got to work on it in another part. It's like, no, let's try to see if we could actually come together of like mindset. You know what I mean? So we can finally achieve the goals that we've been talking about for so long. You know what I mean? It's still a lot of stuff out there, but that's what Juneteenth means to me. It's more camaraderie.
So you're saying that Juneteenth, because you're the younger buck in the family, Juneteenth is a celebration of purpose, and our actions going forward should be all about purpose.
Yes.
Am I correct, life coach?
There you go. Exactly. Because the thing is, we talk so much, but we still have the same narrative is this: when things get done, we look at it on the worst scale of things, but when things are right, we still don't want to come together to correct those things that we know are still there. We wait till it gets very bad. We
Right.
wait till somebody dies. We wait till somebody gets discriminated against real hard. But we don't even want to come together about the stuff Black people are talking about just on a regular basis every day.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the things that you guys think we can do? Because we talk about speaking to our legislators. We talk about getting the people out to vote. But if our civil rights protections are still being denied, what else can we do? We can unite.
I
But
think we.
Pardon me?
Go ahead.
So, yes, we can unite, but it needs to be more.
I think the Black Lives Movement has actually started that ball rolling. They're going to need some direction from some of the elders. They're doing it with their votes right now. They're doing it with their feet, and they're doing it with the protest. What the other side doesn't realize is that the more they oppress, the bigger this is going to get. And in order for us to do something about it, we're not just going to be sitting up here killing each other all the time, because you can get the crap sued out of you. They're just going to keep suing them. I mean, they're talking about $37 billion that has come out of the coffers of police departments because of these lawsuits. That's not going to continue.
But when we talk about the police department, and like I just briefly shared a little bit about my son being murdered by police, the thing about that is it's not all police. And again, we need those that are over the police departments and things of that nature. Something that was suggested previously, and I think we talked about it on another one of our shows, is start taking it out of the police pension funds. And then maybe they'll start waking up if it's starting to mess with their money. But pretty much everything to me is all about money.
I don't know who said that when we were on when we were talking about this last time. If you mistakenly kill a parent, you're going to be responsible for the kids, the police department, not just the police department, but that person's pension should be responsible for taking care of those children until they go through college, go to school. Get through school. They ought to be responsible for it until that person is 18 or older.
Well, it should be the same way that they force men into incarceration for lack of child payment.
Exactly. The same
thing until they're college age. But you also have to look at the fact that we've accomplished a lot as individuals, as Black people, and the celebration of Juneteenth should be a celebration of progress. We can have these conversations till we're blue in the face, and it's almost impossible for most of us to turn blue, gray in the face, or whatever the case may be. But unless there's a cause of action or plan, we need to demand a plan in order to change. We need to provide opportunities, not only from our government into our communities, but from small business people like ourselves into our communities. We need to provide opportunities. We need to be able to provide education to where our young people see the success of people that look like them and have access to them. You always have to remember, when you look at the game of Monopoly, the game is built on assets and liabilities. And when you do not have opportunities or purpose, you become a liability to the community you live in. And that's the reason why they try to segregate us and put us all in one community, is because when there's no hope, there's no progress that's present.
That's right.
And we seem as individual people, we give up on ourselves. We give up and we point the finger at everyone else but ourselves. But in order to change anything that you feel strongly about, where does change begin? It begins in the conversation you're having right now. And if you look in the mirror and there's no action following that change, like you said, Maurice, your silence is the omission that you're part of the problem.
That's right.
Right. And like you said before, Kevin, we need to demand a plan, because if, like you said, they're putting us all in one spot. And unless we demand equal pay, equal rights, and it just within our communities, we unite together and patronize Black and brown
Business.
businesses, and we partner together because our dollar means a lot. We're so busy spending our dollars elsewhere, and when you don't have the education, you don't have the equal rights for jobs. We shouldn't have to have 2 and 3 jobs to try to make one paycheck just to get by and just to exist. And then then you leave your children home because you have 2 and 3 jobs. So your children are pretty much raising themselves, and then the streets are getting to them. And, and like you said, Kevin, if the resources are not there, then what do you do? And I'm not saying it's okay to be a criminal or do things illegal, but it's like you're trying to survive and finding ways to survive. And you know, that's a big issue.
And see, one of the things that I always look at too is this is something me and my wife was talking about, evidence. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, see, we're visual people. You know what I mean? We looking for the receipts.
Yeah.
You know, when black man is killed, black woman is killed, there's a receipt for that. You know what I mean? When that discrimination is set upon somebody or whatever, usually 9 times out of 10, there's a receipt for that. There's a video we can pull up. You know what I mean? Or maybe some slight documentation for that. But the thing is, we don't even want to fight the stuff that we don't see. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, the stuff that we talk about in these conversations, you know, it gets deeper. You know what I mean? It scratches more than just scratching the surface. You know, if we dealing with discrimination at work, you know what I mean? True story. I was at the job and we was dealing with this racist white woman at work. I had said something, several people had said something. It literally took 2 years to get this woman off the line, off our line we was at, and have an investigation open. It didn't matter about how much we were saying, how much we was coming. This woman put me, we were in our booth together and we were talking. And she told me pretty much that our people, black people, look like monkeys. She said that to me. And I went back to my boss and I said that statement. And I told him, I said, dude, I get it, you weren't there. But what reason I got to lie about this? You know, this woman don't like nobody. And then she comes and blatantly makes a statement to me like that. I did what I was supposed to do. But even when I did what I was supposed to do, still no help. Took 2 years.
Exactly.
You know, so as we continue to celebrate Juneteenth, I know a lot of our people, we celebrate, we have big cookouts and parades and musical celebrations, but we should from this moment forward, and not just this day, Juneteenth Day, or not just the month of February, Black History Month, but 365 days a year. We need to start sitting down with our politicians. We need to sit down with our, we just need to start sitting down with our school boards, with our councilmen, with our mayors, all of the politicians, and have roundtable talks about what is needed within our communities and hold them accountable. Vote their, I'm not going to say something, vote their butts out.
You already said, I was going to say for booties. Vote their booties.
Let me ask you a question. All right, since you brought up politics, I mean, you look at every single politician that's running for an office throughout our country, all 50 states. What do you ever hear in their ads and what they're promoting?
Lies, other than lies?
Oh, there you go. That's consistent. Lies about their candidate, deprivation of character, inflammatory statements regarding the other person. But do we vote them on their record or what they promised to do, or do we settle for the person with the least bullshit in their background?
You know what? The sad part about it is sometimes you have to do that with the least BS in their background. But I do try to go back if it's not someone that's new to the scene and just try to see what did they vote on? What have they been doing in the communities thus far? And, you know, and that's me personally. And I also try to talk to people and tell them, don't just vote for this person because of the color of their skin, because they look like you, or don't just vote for this person because of what you're hearing through their advertising, what they will do. Because if you look back through the history, people don't understand that just because a politician states, I'm going to do this. If I'm voted today at this election, I'm going to save the world. But there's a lot of red tape. They can't just go in there and do things, especially if you've had certain people in office, especially for years, because now they have to untangle all of the knots. Then you still have to, you're accountable to other people as well. But we need to start somewhere. Really, again, look at what they've been doing in the communities thus far.
Marcel, I think we have a president for that. Dr. King, it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time, but he went through the politicians and he did the protest, and he told them when we're going to protest, when we needed protection. If we didn't have protection, where we're going to be at, and if what jail or whatever, they made sure that they got taken care of. That part of the government, Robert Kennedy's and the John Kennedys took care of them. But we do have those kind of connections right now, and I think again, the key is the BLM. It's going to be the BLM. The Black Lives Matter movement is definitely going to be a key, and because that generation, I'm not going to say completely woke, but they do have they do have part of the plan. Marching peacefully, way more peacefully than anybody on the other side, if you think about it.
But you know what? When we march peacefully, there are others who don't want us to be marching. And so then it turns into chaos when you have other folks coming in.
Well,
that's on both sides.
But you know the reason,
both sides.
The reason why that is because no one really understands why Black Lives Matter versus why all lives matter. And I've had this conversation, I think, when we very first came on. The way that I've explained the understanding what a protest is about is to look at your relationship. When your spouse comes to you and says to you, there's an issue, she's having a problem, or he's having a problem with you, and you nod your head and you say yes, but you say, but I, or whatever the case may be, because now you're defending. You have now taken a friendly protest and created conflict for the simple fact, one, you didn't acknowledge that what they were saying was real. You did not validate what they were saying was real, and you forced their agenda, our politics, on that person. So what happens to that relationship? Well, sweetheart, I'm cutting you off for coming to the happy place. The gate will be closed, and I'm the gatekeeper. You now have to sleep on the couch, and you have to make your own dinner. Enjoy your bologna and cheese sandwich.
Oh.
And when that doesn't work, what happens? All right. That's the protest we see on the 6 o'clock news. But then again, I tell you that you're not validating my feelings. You've ignored it and whatever. So now you got me to the point that little shiny little car you have now is the imprint of my key. That baseball bat that I had in there, 3 of your other 4 windows no longer have glass in it. And that's when the protest turns into you're not listening to me. Now do I have your attention? Now, granted, a lot of times we have relatives that come in and we have friends that come in and kind of needle and make things a little worse. And that's what those people that infiltrate these peaceful protests and trying to get the message. And that's the reason why the message.
Some are paid and some aren't.
And that's the reason why the message gets kind of disfigured, is because someone creates a distraction from what we're actually talking about. So when you understand that Black Lives Matter, all lives do matter, but listen to it. The reason why we're having this, because what's happening to Black people has to matter to all people in order for us to be a united front.
Okay, and Byron Patton says, picking a politician is like going to the adult store to pick out a sex toy. It boils down to which one of these is going to hurt me the least.
Pretty much.
Wow.
I'm with you on up until when you say all lives matter, because that's kind of glossing over the whole point of Black Lives Matter.
Putting a Band-Aid on it, like.
No, what I said, and please hang on to what I said. I said all lives matter until Black lives do matter, and you got to understand our agenda.
Okay.
And I look at it as the big thing is this. Look at the similarity here. How did those slaves that thought they were still enslaved find out that they were free? They had somebody tell them.
That's right.
Information. You know what I mean? Somebody was willing to share that with them and tell them to say, hey, you are free. You know, you don't have to do this anymore. So the thing is, what's up?
But you
Even
also
with
have to listen that the fact when they were free, what happened to the slave owners? Just like the 50% of when we talk about gun control, we don't want you to be free, so we're going to take your life. We don't want you to be free, so we're going to beat the living crap out of you
Right.
itself. You
That's
know,
exactly what I was going to say.
and that's what you got to look like. There's 50% of this population that wants things to be the way it was back in, back in the
1800s.
days when one race ruled. There's 50% of the population that believes that the only original people in this America are not American Indians. We're all immigrants. If we want to do it, we want to be honest with each other. And so it's the 50% that's creating the most noise. It's the other 50% that's taking a position to where 20% of people are acting out or having these conversations. The other 30% are waiting to see what happens before they voice their opinion.
Well, there we go. Like we said earlier, that's no camaraderie. There's a lot more people sitting around waiting than actually trying to actually talk and do and move. You know what I mean? And that's the big problem I see.
Yeah. Mr. Gray, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's
What's going on, man?
Going on, man?
Juneteenth is good, right?
It was good
Juneteenth
all
is
day.
good.
So
I got a question, though. I got a question. So as we celebrate this Juneteenth new holiday, is there a template to celebrate? Does everyone know how to celebrate? I mean, I've heard about all of these celebrations that are going on. Just because, it's a federal holiday now, and is it another reason to barbecue and to get drunk and all that?
Exactly.
I mean, is this something that we're going to have to now create a narrative for that as well, so that everybody can get on board?
I think this is a perfect time to start expos back up, Black expos, so we can inform each other, and during this month, and also during the month of February, make sure that we inform each other. So Juneteenth, this day, they should be having Black expo somewhere in Chicago instead of a concert.
But it has to continue. I mean, even though it's just again, there's a once a year thing now. All right, Juneteenth, and it's defined because it has a date on it, basically. Okay, so it's Juneteenth.
Right.
All right? So once a year, June the 19th, we all come together.
Big expo.
Get the black pick fist on it. All right, you know what I'm saying? Throw their hand up, and we barbecue and we cuss, fuss, and holler, drunk, and all of this stuff, and then we stop. The next day, we go back to work and do this and that.
Go back.
How do we keep the narrative going? How do we keep talking about it?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, myself. Go ahead.
Something I would suggest is some type of, and I know we got a lot of organizations to have, whereas an organization in each state, and we have agendas that regarding things that affect all of us. And we all come together to try to make change. And it's not, and I like the idea of the Black Expo that you said, but what I've noticed with some of these Black Expos is more so just a lot of Black-owned businesses and vendors.
Well, isn't that the point of what we were talking about earlier?
Well, that's part of it, but we still have to deal with civil rights that we really don't have.
I think
really, there are laws on the books, but are they being enforced?
Exactly.
And I'm going to go back to the police because that's something that really affected me. Yes, you have certain laws for the police, but then you have laws that they hide behind. So it doesn't matter that these laws are here. Those that are in charge are not really enforcing them. There's no way in hell that my son should have been murdered, and those MFs, and I'm trying to be calm, were able to say, I felt threatened by a young man that was laying on the ground sick. And for them to tell a judge, I felt threatened, and for that MF judge, yes, I said that, threw the case out. And that's not, and my case with my son, my only child, is not the only case that's out there. We're still seeing it almost daily. And I'm not saying for people that are criminals, that are doing something wrong, and even if they did something wrong as a criminal,
They don't deserve
it's not
death.
right to shoot them, and put them to death. Because like we said in another show, they do not do that for other people.
That's right.
Okay, so as you're saying that, relate that to the Juneteenth.
Okay, so are we still free?
Juneteenth,
free? Okay,
Go
Juneteenth were supposed to have been when the slaves were freed.
right.
And then they started a slave patrol society. And their badge looks exactly like the police badges now. And that was pretty much to keep still, even though they were supposed to be freed, they're still keeping them in line. And how much has changed? Not a lot has changed with that.
So we can keep it. And I truly understand what you were talking about. Okay, but we got to take the personal out of it. We're talking about the celebration now, how we're supposed to celebrate, what the reasons are for celebration, how far we've come from the moment this has happened. All right, we gotta, And again, I'm not negating anything that you're saying. Okay.
Oh no, I understand. Yes.
I mean, well, let me say this, and Greg, I'm going to disagree with you because in order for this celebration to have a happy ending, it has to become personal.
Okay.
And we have to have these stories. If you want to know what the playbook for success is, you look at the LGBTB organization. Look how far they have come in a matter of short years. You look at the Hispanic population and look how far they have come. The reason why we have not come any further than where we are, we're in the same place today as we were 20, 30, 40 years ago. Individuals have accomplished things, but us as an individual race, and the reason why we keep finding reasons when we have these conversations to divide each other instead of coming together and saying we're going to make a change together. So if we want to look for a call to action and a playbook, look at two groups that are definitely minorities that have become a powerful voice in politics and in our community.
And I agree with you, Kevin. But when I say don't take it personal, I mean we can't individualize it. Okay, I think we have to do it personally as a group, as a nation, as a culture. Together, we can personalize it that way. I mean, if we take individual incidents, then it just becomes an individual incident that goes on with the rest of a lot of them. Okay, but the thing is, we want to creatively, as a whole, make this continuous, make this have an impact as a whole, not individual. Right? We could talk individual stories, but at the end of the day, is our individual story going to become a part of the whole?
We'll see.
How effective can we make that?
And see, I feel that we can use the individual story to also create a collective as well. My thing is because, like Marcella stated, there are more people out there with those same cases. The thing is, it's going to take those same people coming together. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to take those same people coming together to create that narrative, to push that narrative so that then you can see change. If it's one person doing it, it's always going to be that struggle. If it's one person doing it, say it again.
I agree. You're exactly right. And that's the reason why when you look at the two groups that I cited, when they shot up a gay bar in Miami, it became personal. And what happened is they stopped supporting companies that were against LGBT. Hispanics did the same thing or whatever. We're the only race that you can screw us over or screw over individual. And because there's a sale, we stand in line for the product.
Yep. Wow. And see, and individually, see what I do is it's a reason why I watch all these documentaries. It's a reason why as Black people, we have to keep ourselves informed. That documentary we were talking about in our chat, you know what I mean? Started watching that bad boy. It's some stuff that I didn't know, and there's some stuff that I didn't know in that Joker too. But the thing is, it started off with that individual though. You know what I mean? You need to push yourself to be able to watch stuff like that and educate yourself. I could sit and talk in front of a lot of people all day. Just because I talk in front of a thousand or hundreds of thousands of people, that doesn't mean each and every one of them 100,000 of people will listen to me. I'm gonna reach somebody.
That's my point. Okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I agree with everything that you guys are saying. Okay.
Mhm.
Individual stories, bring them together as a collective, and it'll make the statement. Okay. But how many times are you going to get these individual stories or people to even say their individual stories?
Mhm.
We need to go back and it's just my opinion. We need to go back and, like you guys said, get these individual stories. And before we start talking about them individually, make them a collective, and then put it out there, and that way it has more of an impact as a stronger voice instead of one voice at a time. It's a strong voice
Mhm.
all together. The Juneteenth, like I said, it's just now becoming a federal holiday.
Yeah.
All right. What does that mean? Does federal holiday mean it's a national holiday? Because I can guarantee you that there are people that went to work today. All right. There are companies that don't recognize this. So federal, national, there's a big difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in total agreement with what everybody said here. But again, the alphabet gang, and the Hispanic population took a page out of Martin Luther King's book.
Mhm.
And what's so crazy is we created the book, and we cannot find a way to do the same thing.
We can't have nothing.
I'm just thinking like
Like
this. I always thought the deal in Chicago every year that we went to when we were younger, it informed us on a whole bunch of things. And I think something like Juneteenth would have been at the forefront, to tell everybody what was going on. And
Mhm.
this can be a place where we can come every year and inform each other about culture, about what's going on. If it didn't get finished, who do we need to contact? We have resources. We have lawyers. We have athletes that have money.
Mhm.
We have a bunch of resources to do what we need to do. We just need to get cohesive about it. We need to get the right people, together in one spot so they know we need to come here every year to discuss our culture. Black
Okay. So
Expo,
you
Black
need
Expo was that. I
contributions.
mean, if you think about Jesse Jackson when he brought it together with the Rainbow Coalition and all that stuff, it was that one spot he did every year.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So you're talking about with our contributions to America and all of in our
Everything. It
everything with
educated
our
us. Yeah.
culture. Yeah, for education.
hmm
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think the
You know,
difference.
the way that they celebrate the 4th of July, because they claim that Juneteenth is our
Is our
second,
4th of July. Yeah.
is our second independence, because July 4th wasn't our independence.
It was
No.
not.
It did
Mhm.
not include us. And
We were
Maurice,
enslaved.
you could be right. Maybe we needed a day in all 50 states that we shoot off fireworks, but we come together and we do the spoken word. We have music of our people.
Mhm.
We have cultural events that shares our clothing, our history, our music, our literature.
In
Our
50
people
states.
that are in prominent positions have to make themselves available to our communities so people can see what real Black power is.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. I agree totally with that one
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That
it's,
makes
it's a
sense.
travesty as to the extent of ignorance that have been out there towards us, and I think we make up the majority of the people out here. So, but again, to somebody's point, we can't get together enough to make a statement, make an impact.
Mhm.
We are always fighting against each other. We're killing each other off just the way they want us to do it. So, how do we celebrate emancipation when all we're doing is freeing ourselves up to kill each other?
Exactly.
We gotta rethink this whole thing. And we talk about this all the time, which I think is a great thing that we do talk about it,
Yeah.
because we do continuously push the narrative. But the thing is, we can talk about it all day long, but we can't come up with a solution alone.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, we can give the ideas, but we can't come up with a solution alone. I just got through talking to 8. I don't want to say very, very. I'll put it like this: just got through talking to 8 companies, uh, and it's a short time. When you're pitching something to people, you got like 11 minutes to really get them into it. All right, if you can't catch it in 11 minutes, and
Mhm.
so one of them kind of threw me because the first question they asked, well, uh, why are you talking to us on Juneteenth? I said because, and my answer was because I'm a Black man. All right. I have to continue to at least uplift me and my people in some sort of way. So I, as much as I want to celebrate in the conventional way, I celebrate by making moves, by speaking to people who can advance us to a different level. I want to make sure that you guys at least can see how we are uplifting people of our culture. So that's why I'm talking to you on
Juneteenth.
But honestly, for you asking me that question, I really don't want to talk to you no more.
Now, I was going to ask you, did you ask him why he's asking that question?
I did. I just said I went past. I just said because here's the thing. When I'm pushing for sponsorships for this and that, okay, because I've done this before. They need us. We don't necessarily need them. They need us to showcase them in a different area that they're not getting their wares in. That's why they were there, okay? Because they're trying to look for some other places to do. Hey, God bless them. Go someplace else. But if you got to ask me about my blackness, all right, then I don't want to deal with you.
Let me share a story that I did in my community, and it's changing after this weekend. I live in a town called Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. When I came here, by my own experience, I would say this is by far the most racist place I ever moved into. The community may not agree to it, but when we were raising money, when they were cutting back the finances or the funding for the athletic programs, which all of my children were involved, I took to the streets. I went to every single business in our little town. And the conversation I had, I said, in the event that you didn't participate and support the children, because I know majority of your income is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And these are people that after sporting events, we come to your place, whatever. I said, in the event that you do not donate, I am going to personally put a magnet on your window and said, this is one of the business we should bypass. 100% of the people in my town donated. It's the first time that in Phoenixville, the history of that high school, that they have the most money they had raised was $2,500. We did over $10,000 in contribution from local businesses in our community.
Wow.
And the reason why that's important is the same way we market. If there's nothing in it for them, they won't participate.
Yeah.
It's true.
That is the truth.
I know I learned a lot today. I did. I had a good time, but I learned a lot.
I mean,
that's why I'm on now, because I cut it short.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. Hey, to answer your question, you said what's the difference between national and federal? Yeah. Real quick, I just feel that if a holiday is national, that just means people recognize it. If it's federal, that means it's getting written off on somebody's tax dollars, and that means we get paid for it.
Yeah,
we should be paid for it.
Did you have to work today?
Yeah, I did.
So did you get time and a half?
No, because you know why? At the end of the day, it's that company's individual choice, and that's what sucks.
It is the company's individual.
But let me ask you a question: Do they pay you for taking the day off for 4th of July if it falls on a Sunday?
Oh yeah, they'll pay me for that. They'll pay me for that all day.
Okay, so you need to ask your employer what's the difference. It's the second Independence Day. It's a federal holiday. Why don't you recognize that?
See, Kevin, you feel it. You feel it.
And
I'm only one black person.
That's one of the things I was talking about with the round tables, to talk to your corporations about things of that nature. Bring that to their awareness of, okay, so if we do it here, why is it not here? What is the difference between this one and that one? And just how you talked about earlier, and it's not just your corporation, but this out here, all of them. And these are some of the things that we can discuss, and how to celebrate, and things to do to celebrate Juneteenth.
And Life Coach Jeff, when you say you're only one person, you've got to exercise your right to social media. If we can make something stupid go viral, take this conversation about your company and other companies and have people spread it around. When their people realize that they work for a holiday that they should have been paid for, and the government supports it, and they demand it, go to your local EEOC and says that my company made me work on a federal holiday and did not pay me. And by law, in every single state, that company owes you money.
This is true.
Now spread that through the internet and watch what happens.
Daddy said don't leave no money on the table, bro.
Yeah.
What is it?
Extra today. I have to
Yeah.
look into some things, Kevin Kev.
Don't
I
leave
have to
no
look
money
into
on
some
the
All you
things.
have to do is go to EOC, like you
This
said.
is true.
Because I'm gonna tell you, if
It's
it don't
true.
show up on my paycheck, I work today. If it don't show up on my paycheck, I'm definitely going to EOC.
You work today, Mo?
video out there.
I did.
You get time and a half?
I know I got regular time. I don't know if I got time and a half. It's supposed to be time and a half.
All
But
black
this-
folks should get double time and a half for the
This
day.
is a federal holiday.
It's
a federal holiday. And let me tell you something. We had a governor that actually he's a Republican, and he actually made it a state holiday just last year when it turned into a federal holiday, which was surprising because he's an idiot. Our governor is an idiot, a racist idiot.
Dang, you got another word? Put another one in there.
A motherfucking racist idiot.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Sorry.
Is there an emoji for that?
If there was, it'd be a vicious ass emoji.
We should do a contest, man, and see.
There it is, right there. There's emoji right there.
Who can add the most words to Maurice's people?
I'm just saying, if it don't show up on my paycheck, you can bet
Take
I'm going
it.
to the EEOC, and you will know it. Because
EEOC.
I wasn't the only person that was, of my culture out there working today.
So Amina says there's a question, and I hope this doesn't sound stupid. I'm gonna wait till she asks the question to put it up.
No
there.
stupid question at all.
Ain't nothing wrong with a question.
Questions
Not at all.
invoke dialogue.
That's
I
right.
mean, you are one of those people that's pushing that narrative, all right? Keep expanding, keep growing. Make sure you let everybody know. Man, look, I'm telling you, I sound drained because I'm drained, man. I am so drained.
It's
Try
hard
to
to do
talk to
that.
these folks, man. You're talking to these folks.
Hey, and the sad part about it, when you go to these companies, they know if they want to give it to you or not. They're just trying to see what you're going to step into to give them a reason said no.
You know what? Look, here's the thing that I've learned, okay? Now, my demeanor as far as I'm talking to them, it doesn't go this, I'm not arrogant with it. I'm not, anything, okay? I state the fact. I give them a good 10, 11 good minutes, let them know exactly what they, need to hear. And then I direct them to the shows. They can pick any show they want, all right? They ask about, your audience, and do you want to diversify your audience? Are you only black people? Are you this and that? Whoever clicks on is who we are, okay? I mean, I can't determine, and that's not who I'm marketing to. When I put it on LinkedIn, it's for everybody, all right? Facebook, it's for everybody, whoever sees it. Amina says, is Juneteenth supposed to be celebrated like the 4th of July? And what she means by that is fireworks show, etc. I think you guys touched on that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah,
we did. And
I'm going to tell you this: if every city did a show like the Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and everybody else in every single city, Juneteenth would be the topic of conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you get enough big celebrities and big people behind it. There you go, Kev. You put enough people doing that behind it, man. It's over with. It's a done deal.
Hey, I'll be a t-shirt salesman in Atlanta all day long.
You gonna have that one like they did in Martin, that Whitty Hutton, huh?
Yep.
Whitty Hutton, spelled it all wrong. Had a picture of Brubman on the shirt. If that's the case, though, why didn't they do it this time? This is the first time. This should have been the most grandiose time. All the celebrities should have came.
It wasn't like it wouldn't. It wasn't. It was some pretty good celebrations, but they were on like TV, channels. They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't no. And we heard some fireworks last night.
Yeah.
From Nashville shores. We were real close to the beach, so we heard. We heard fireworks last night. But
and the towns around. Go ahead.
In order for this Juneteenth to be something that's going to be impactful,
spectacular,
we have to come through and make it a spectacle as Black people, successful.
We should have jumped it off. Should have jumped it off, though, Kevin.
Yep.
They should have jumped it off. I mean, should have just had it. Man, everybody should have been doing some of everything as far and it should have been visible. Just jumped it off and say, yeah, this is the holiday for us now.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why when people like us have connections to people that can make a difference, whatever, because, we'll show up for a good time, but we need to educate those people while we have everyone gathered.
Right, and
I,
that's yeah.
I think didn't GI do some gigantic show yesterday or this weekend? Then they have some kind of festival all weekend long.
Yeah, they had something, I believe, yesterday and the day before.
In Chicago too.
And and surrounding areas of GI as well, and Chicago. Yeah. And really when you a lot of states and cities did something, but it was like, from what I saw, smaller, just small things.
Local stuff.
In my town, I think Darren Collins had a lot to do with that as well, because she lives in my town, and there was some there was a racist incidents that came up, and I remember her reading. She was at a town board meeting, and they kind of are trying to kind of like pacify us a little bit with the Juneteenth celebration. But I truly believe that it's going to be bigger.
And still, 39 people got killed yesterday. The youngest, an 11-year-old girl. There was a celebration where they started shooting at. I mean, the same shit, different day, and it should have been a different day, not the same shit. So, again, man, great. We got another day. We got Black History. It was Black History Week. They turned it to Black History Month. Right arm, okay, even though that was my left. And now we got Juneteenth. Fought for it. We got it. It's a day. We're supposed to celebrate our emancipation. We got rights to do everything that the white people, the black, can do. Yeah, supposedly, all right. And they're still trying to take it away. But I mean, again, we got to do better. We got to show that we're celebrating, as opposed to just marching and this and that. Okay, to me, marching is not celebrating. Okay, just because you roll Jesse Jackson up to a podium and he says a couple of things.
Roll Jesse Jackson.
He in a wheelchair. He was. I saw him on the news. You roll him up to a podium and he says a couple of things, and that's it. Okay, where's Al Sharpton at the beauty parlor? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
hey, that's slick back, man.
Hey, what's going on?
Gotta maintain.
We should have had a huge celebration. ABC loves us, okay? NBC loves us. Why couldn't we have had a Juneteenth celebration? On WGN they have the Black Image Award, not the Black Music something awards, okay? Nobody knew it was going up. Nobody knew it was going.
Well, you know what? Dope Living TV, I'm gonna challenge us going forward.
All right.
And we shall be getting bigger.
Make that happen.
And we shall
be.
We are.
It's amazing way great minds think alike. Because I'm thinking, I said for the whole month of June, maybe Dope Living TV, the team here, we should hit as many cities as we can possible, bring out the talent in each of those cities, bring out our educators in each of those cities, bring out our children. We tell people, don't bring Pookie or Jerome or Katie that wants to have the switchblade and see how fast they can shoot up the town. You're not welcome. But put on a celebration that when people walk away from this event, they talk about it for the rest of their lives.
Again, I think the key to it, though, Kevin, is education. Even before we begin to having those big events, that'll teach Pookie and Ray and all them.
Well, you got to do one thing in order for us to get together. If we ain't having a good time, we don't show up. Okay, so we've got to kind of blindside people before the concert. If you want to participate in all these venues, all right, listen to Jeff Real, the life coach. And it's about that time, Marcella.
Yes, I'm looking. I was waiting for you to talk. Let's, like he said, it is that time. Let's regroup and refocus. And here's some words of wisdom from our life coach, Jeff Relaford.
You got it, Marcy? You good?
The word for the day is change, people. Now, we come up on here all the time. We talk about change, whether we talk about relationships or we talk about topics in general. We talk about gun control, other things on the show. We talk about change. But I want to let you know, change starts within. And when change starts within, we say this as well. You got to look at yourself, yo. You have to look at yourself and how you are impacting others and how you are mostly impacting yourself. Are you going to be the one that actually wants to start a movement? Do you want to be the one that has a voice that needs to be heard? Guess what? Your voice should be heard. So don't limit yourself. Make sure that once you become the change, now you want to implement. Make sure that when you implement, make sure that you have a plan. Make sure when you have that plan, you execute it to the best of your ability. Hiccups can come, things can happen, things might slow you down, but guess what? That does not change your overall message. That does not change your habits, and that doesn't change the people that you are trying to reach because you have something to say. But in order to get to that point, start off with change. Go ahead and watch some documentaries, learn about your people, learn about your culture, and go ahead and spread that overall message so that you can continue to unify a people together. So that is a specialized Juneteenth message for my people. Specialized Juneteenth message for my people. Not trying to be selfish, but it still applies to everybody else. That's what I got for y'all tonight.
That's
All
right.
right.
All right.
Right.
Redirect, regroup, refocus.
There you go.
And
You
now,
got it.
I'm going to finish my thought before we did that introduction. The
Mhm.
reason why I've seen it happen 2 weeks ago, I watched a guy by the name, what's his name? Guy from, damn, I can't think of the concert I just went to go see. Something Martin.
Coldplay.
Coldplay. 50,000 people. Every single city that he goes to, he always brings up a new local act and promote them. The featured act that he brought up was her. H period, E period, R period. Young lady threw down. But what hooked me on Coldplay, and I was not a fan until I went to that show, is that every single thing he did, every single power energy was generated by alternative fuel because his concert is 100% green. Not only did he entertain, he educated everyone at the same time on saving this planet, inspired people to do to make changes within their own life, and he impacted 50,000 people, and he's on tour. And I'm saying if we do this the right way, it could be done with us. Support our local talent, support our local businesses. We have to use our entertainers as beacons to draw people in so they can have access to their liberty and their freedom.
But they want to have to be used, okay? And that's the other part about that. We used to bring people on here. Well, not bring people on. We used to ask people to come on to just talk with us, have a conversation. And they say they're going to come, but they don't come. And I'm not saying that they have to. They don't have to. But the thing is, we here. I know that when I created this, man, I wanted to make sure that everybody had a voice. We heard every side of every story there is, all right, and we say the things that people are afraid to say, and we give them that option, all right. And I want to throw names out here because I know that these guys got a lot to say and can do a lot for us, for the movement, but they just are interested in their own individual agenda. And that individual agenda, yeah, it's good, it's great, but we want to help you spread your individual agenda, and that's the thing that we as a people just got to get over, man. Nobody's trying to take nothing from nobody. It's plenty of room out there for everybody, period. All right.
Exactly.
I don't care about, look, I don't really care about the amount of content we have. I really don't. I care about the content itself. The quality of the content that we give. We could put 98 million viewers out here, but have we put out a bunch of buffoonery? YouTube give us consider this too. I learned this tonight too. 78 million people on YouTube equates to $50,000. But the big end is that YouTube is getting the brunt, the share, the portion of the profit. So for some people who don't know, 58,000 is a lot of money, but it isn't. Okay, if you got 78 million viewers, 78 million subscribers on your YouTube channel, that's why I said this is why we do things on an individual basis. Okay, on a platform that we want people to come and just listen and say what you got to say, and understand that we are not going to censor or try to hide what you have to say. We'll discuss it because it needs to be discussed, but we're not going to hide anything. Amina says, Greg, next year on Juneteenth, what do you think about renting out a small venue and have a live talk show and have entertainment, etc.? Done. Done deal. I got you. No problem. We'll do it. That's what Kevin. That's
We
what
can
you're
do
talking
it at
about.
her. We can do it at a hair shop.
We can do it at several places. We can do it.
Do it at a college.
We can do it where you guys are individually at the time, and that way we can simulcast it. All
There's
right.
a very nice place not far from me. Well, Jeff is not that far. Ron and Amina. Nice place.
Okay, well, that's done. That's a plan. Let's do it. I mean, you help us out with that. It's a great idea. I mean, that's what Kevin was just saying. You know, bring it out there like that. I don't have a problem with that. It's a done deal. I mean, it says you sure can.
Her shop. Maurice made a comment about having it in
Oh,
her
I
shop.
didn't know. But yeah, man, I don't know. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to be with a bunch of people, and the more I'm starting to think about this stuff, man, and I don't, like I said, I don't beg anybody for anything. Okay, I'm gonna put it to, and I'm just being transparent. I'm gonna put it to the point that, hey, you need us. You need us to, number one, showcase you, but number two, be a part of the movement that we're trying to create. And that's just, as Kevin had just said, we want to educate, we want to inspire and inform people about everything that's going on out here. So
and that's another thing when these people, because I've had conversations similar to this, but I've also spent 15 years when QVC was developing. You can have 78,000 people follow you, like you, and whatever, but if 10% of those are not buying your product, you just have 78,000 people walking by your store.
that's it.
That's what vendors need to understand. When you have a higher caliber of people that watch your show and those low numbers are there, and you sell $1,000 item to people that only have 7,500 people, that's $75,000 that you didn't have the morning you open your door.
Okay, Mr. Brian A. McGee Serrano says, how do you contact each of you individually? I would like to participate in Chicago, aka DJ Love at Chicago. We'll get at you. Put it like that. We'll get at you, bro. Appreciate you watching. He's watching us on LinkedIn.
Okay.
DJ too. May have Maurice contact you, bro.
Push some
See
mixes.
what y'all can talk about, But everybody, again, let's celebrate Juneteenth in the vein that what it's supposed to be. All right, it's not the barbecue and booty day. All right, it's the day that we need to reflect. We need to actually be happy and proud of the fact that we are free. We're supposed to be free. There's a lot of work to be done, but free to do what everybody else in this country is doing. Free to vote, free to own a business, free to network with everyone. Just free to be us. And that should be our goal for this Juneteenth. That's just my opinion, of course, but that should be our goal for Juneteenth. Let's make it a celebration for real. 4th of July, they pop fireworks. Okay, so it's definitive. That's what you're going to do on 4th of July. What are we going to make definitive on Juneteenth?
Education.
I think I agree. Education and our history, understanding what role we played in this society. I mean, if you look at it, if America wants to be honest, nothing really happens until something black happens. Your music, your dress, your hairstyle, your entertainment, and so forth. Before we start making movies, it was just horror movies and movies that didn't make any sense. I hate to say it, without us, there's no you guys.
Again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about our culture being stolen from us, our own culture being stolen right in front of our face. you know.
Mhm.
And and if I was to know this and won't stop it, we got people, big entertainers in these fields that should be PO'd to the max. You know, they should be pissed to the max because of what's being done. You know, our culture's being stolen from us literally right in front of our faces.
We have to take back our power
What's ours?
and not be ashamed of saying that we're black, no matter what shape we are.
That's
We
it.
cannot be ashamed. We have to overcome our own biases against our people, start putting our people down because of the different tones of their skin, how much they weigh or where they work or whatever. We have to come together and celebrate and own our own blackness.
But
Yes.
Kevin, that's why I go. So you're still gonna have to educate Pookie in them too. You're gonna have to in order to do what you said. I know what you're saying. You're shaking your head.
Pookie don't listen.
It's gonna be some of Pookie in them that don't listen, but for the most part, somebody needs to take leadership on that stuff. I mean,
you know what's going to happen one day? We're going to get a text from someone named Pookie. He's the CEO of a company. He's going to say, "Stop putting Pookie out."
I'm listening, man. What you talking about? I'm listening. I'm trying to take the bull by the horns, but
I mean, what? A lot of times when you look at Pookie now, and the I want to say the gangs and things of that nature. If you really sit down and talk to some of them, and I've seen where some have talked to them, and it's like they're so educated, whereas they start their own corporations, not something that's illegal.
Right.
You know, they are true leaders. And if you have the right people, like maybe some that have come out of that lifestyle, to educate them on how
Dr. Dre or
they
Snoop
can be, and how they can be successful leading lives not of crime, and still probably more than likely make way more than what they're making out here on the streets.
And I will tell you,
that should be part of
definitely.
education.
Because Dr. Dre and Snoop them was Pookie and them, you know,
and introduce them.
They were Pookie and them. So
I mean, not introduce them, but bring them into the fold.
And I'm going to say, with all of our unlicensed street pharmacists and horticulturists and whatever, because of the legalization of cannabis, you know, those companies are going to look for world-class salesmen. And the guys that have been doing it illegally should be applying, because you know your distribution.
This is true.
Whatever. There's only one problem with
that. Upgrade the way that you do business. Learn how to do business and turn a crime into profit.
The federal government has put Achilles heel in that, Kevin, which is great. But they put when they made that thing legal, guess what? You can't have no D's or no F's on your report cards. No drugs, no felonies. In order to get those kind of license. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Maurice.
So guess what? That you know, they may have been salesmen out on the street. That's probably all they're going to be, because they can't get a legal license.
But you also have to say laws are passed on the local and state and federal level. So each state has a responsibility.
So you're saying that they need to get in contact with their local representatives and push. Okay. And that's education.
Yep.
Amina says, thank you all for Juneteenth education and breaking down how it should be really celebrated. This discussion is really helping me. And for the gentleman that I spoke to today, who I know is watching, all right, there's your answer right there, bro. All right. And she said she's not messing with Pookie then. Brian said, I say it all the time. If you can run a multi-million-dollar drug empire, you can run a multi-billion international.
Come on.
True.
Brian, out of Chicago, I was looking at his profile here. He's partnering with the creator, utilizing skills, knowledge, and experience to help make the impossible possible. He's an African, Cherokee, Choctaw, Irishman, and a family historian. So
my grandfather was a Blackfoot Indian, so you know I know about it.
My grandfather just had black feet. But
I was about to say that.
No, he was a farmer, man. Sometimes
What's in you?
He was a farmer, man. Sometimes he didn't have his shoes on.
Make a little porch book. That's what I got in it.
All good though. But that's man. I'm telling y'all, man. Today was a day, boy. It was a good day.
It opens your eyes to some stuff, though, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta do the pre thing, and then the other thing, and then the other thing that leads to the other thing, and then you finally get to the time where you sit down and talk to these people after you networked and did all this. And I'm like, yeah, bruh. I don't ever question. You know, one thing about with me, I'm a very calm guy, okay? But when you question my motive or my blackness or my potential. See, one thing that I do know is I know my worth. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna, you know, in meetings like this, I'm not gonna give you a rate or this and that. You know, you try to find out if I know what I'm doing. Okay. First thing you ask for, well, how much would this be and that be? This, I'm not gonna give you that right now. That's not what we're talking about. You know, come on, you can't get me, bro. You can't get me.
Yeah.
Kevin, can you tell me, share a little about yourself? This is Amina.
Hey, Amina, how you doing? Just to make it quick, I'm part of Dope Living Family TV. If 3 times published author, public speaker, 40 years in the business as a fitness and influencer. I deal a lot with troubled youth in my community, and I'm all about hope, helping other people every single day. So that's the long and the short.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Are they still on? Oh no, I wouldn't have never stayed on that long.
Who's that?
They still. I'm still a part of the
Where you
event.
left. Where you left.
Event. Brian says you definitely want to contact all of the HBC education institutions, private nationwide businesses to participate in this. Whatever happened to the Black Pages? My parents were lifelong entrepreneurs. They used to be in that business directory. Unfortunately, the media industry at large is run by the devil, and they have another whole agenda. We cannot depend on most of the mainstream. But see, he's right. He's absolutely right.
Yeah,
there was. I remember Black Pages. And I'm quite sure, Kevin, you were a part of the Black Pages too.
Yeah.
Black Pages was the Black directory. Okay,
Exactly.
It's gone now. We were able to just go through there and
we know where it was going.
All these Black entrepreneurs. All right. I know you got something to say, Kevin, real quick.
No, I was going to say something to Brian. Contacting the HBC's education, it's a great idea, but unless you have someone that opens that door, you're just sending an email to a door that's not going to be open. So if he has access to someone that will hear the conversation, then open the door for us.
Most
definitely.
definitely.
Something, Kevin. I was just given 2 numbers. I'm working on a show with the HBCUs, and I do have a couple of people that I am going to be contacting. And it wasn't about Juneteenth, but it's about some other things. But I'm going to open up that dialogue as well. But these are not only just recruiters, but administrators that I'm talking in the background with.
To Amina's point, though, we will get that. Amina, we're gonna do something next year. Brian, you can be a part of that as well. Hopefully, bring some a different perspective to it. Amina says you speak so well and you get her attention every time. Thank you, sir.
That's why we got it.
And Brian says that my parents were lifelong entrepreneurs and they were in the Black Pages. Tell me that Black Pages was the truth back then, man.
You know something? As Black people, let's rebirth that Black Pages, because I'm going to tell you, if we had a Black directory of our attorneys, doctors, lawyers, educators, retail outlets, distribution centers, and whatever, life would change for a lot of us Black people.
Yeah.
So all these
somebody
people
start setting up and paying attention.
Let's get together.
You know,
But see, it's people who tried to do that though.
There's an app. I'm gonna have to look it up. I brought it up on another show about a month or 2 ago, but there is an app with that, whereas you are to put in your zip code, and then it'll tell you what type of industry you're looking for, and it should be able to bring up Black-owned businesses.
It should have every Black entrepreneur in there, right? And I can guarantee you, once I'm not gonna say but once someone starts to put that out there, there's gonna be a lot of people that'll be like, nah, that's all right,
Well, see,
and that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is
because
this is what I'm going to say to our listening audience. Facebook, $1 billion business on free content. YouTube, multiple billion-dollar business on free content.
Think about it.
TikTok, multiple billion-dollar entity on
Free content.
in the market. Free content, free content, free content, free content. And we
provide
have a
space.
sponsor that's telling us you got to have so many likes or whatever. If we took all of that free content and start putting it into Black content and Black content creators, we all came together. I'm going to tell you the dollars in the financial district will change and shift our way. We keep selling our souls for nickels and dimes when everyone else is making dollars.
Yeah.
We have to change that, and it has to change with people, looking up like here and said, look, I'm going to give TikTok a couple more of my pictures and access to my life, and say, TikTok, pay me for the access of those pictures, not on a nickel per so many views or whatever. Pay me the dollar that I'm worth.
Well, but that's the problem with that, though, man. The thing is, it's like we talked about earlier. We can't get enough of us behind. Like Greg just said, it's gonna be some people out there that say, "Nah, I'm all right. Nah, I'm good," but they don't understand the whole camaraderie behind it.
Well,
My thing is, so this is the question I have, because they tried to do this on the Black Coalition page, the Black Coalition page, where they started to get a directory, and I went ahead, I gave my information, I put it in, but I have yet to see this directory. I have yet to see where is it at? Like they had something where they was developing it on the internet, and they had the website where you could pull up some stuff. It was going, but it's not pushed. That's the thing. Consistency, people. We always start something, then we stop.
Let me ask you this. Let's put this out there to all content creators. For 1 week, 7 days, do not put anything on the internet or any social media for 1 week.
Yep, just stop
see
it.
what happens. Anyone that is melanated, do not put anything on there for 7 days and see what happens, and see where the economy shifts, because you want to know your power. Find out what happens when we take away your revenue.
Because
it means that we won't
before
be
you
days.
No, we get a vacation too. But we're still going to be recording our content. We'll be ready.
Well, the people before us, there's a precedent. I mean, bus boycott, that was a big thing back then. When they stopped going, when we stopped taking the bus back in the day, they had to come on to our side and ask us what we want.
Maurice, I can guarantee you, if people listen to what we just said now, and for 7 days they stop, every single person Greg talked to this week, or he's going to talk to this week,
throw money
will have a whole nother different conversation when they realize how powerful Dope Living TV is and our voice.
Well, the other guy, there was just this one company. This one guy was just being an ass, okay? But everybody else was cool. I talked to 4 people today. They were cool. All right, Brian says Miss Felicia Allen Rashad just started a new position at Howard University as Dean of the recently reestablished College of Fine Arts, effective July 1st.
So she did?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
You should pursue. And I know that Felicia Allen is
that's
very, very receptive to calls, especially when it deals with the movements. She's very receptive. So you're right, Brian. That's a great thing. Brian, come on here with these gems, man. Come on, dude.
Okay, I got a whole lot of family there. Okay,
we need to reignite this.
As a whole, man, you know what? We at Dope Living TV, we support this. We're glad there's a Juneteenth day. Let's just celebrate it correctly. All right, Jeff, let's get out of here.
Yeah, like I said earlier, y'all, we got to just do more to come together. We all have good ideas. We all have good ways how we can affect the economy, how we can show people that our black dollar can effectively shift some things and change the pace, But we got to do it collectively. That's my big thing for tonight, y'all. Stop trying to do some things individually and start looking at how we can all come together and how we can effectively affect change.
Agreed, 110%, bro. We have to come together. We have to actually recognize if we're going to do something different. We got to do something different. You know what I mean? If we're going to change anything, we got to do something different. And I think going back to the past and looking at the success from the past and using that same formula and bringing it forward is the key. And we got to find some place to come together. And I think, again, reigniting that big fire that was the Black Expo needs to be reignited, except on in all states of the union.
Yes, sir. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring.
Yep.
Bring out the harmony of liberty. Juneteenth is a celebration of progress, not a celebration of a victory or acceptance. It's a way that we now live our life.
Move forward.
Celebrate your blackness, own your own blackness, and be kind to your mankind.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback off several of the other ones. Let's work together, unite with each other, work with the spirit of excellence in everything that you do. Know your value as a Black, brown person. Unite, educate, inspire each other, and let's work together and move forward from this day on.
Hey, real quick, Lanita says the Back to School Fest that I came to last year is happening this year. So I'll definitely be there. This is where I actually met Tree.
Where's it at?
It's in Gary. I actually met Tree there. All right. Look, people, again, happy Juneteenth. If you can say happy Juneteenth, all right. Let's celebrate it in the vein that it's meant to be celebrated in. And most importantly, I think that we have an issue with knowing our worth. All right. We have gone through something and we've come to something. Know your worth. You are nothing if you don't know who you are and what you are worth in this society, period. All right. And as everyone has said, we need to come together. Brian says, yes, work with excellence always. I'm also looking for some help. I've been for the past several years. I want to create a music festival to end homelessness nationwide. In memory of my friend, Mr. Andrew Arango, the Arango Music Festival of Hope. Sounds great, man. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, just again, know your worth, and network like we're doing right here. Right? It doesn't make a difference if you have more than someone else. Still network. All right. There's a lot of things that we can do together, and somebody who doesn't have a big platform can have just as much impact as someone who has a huge platform. Let's just network together and see what everybody has and come together and make something big happen. Let's make Juneteenth a real celebration as opposed to just something on paper. Let's make it a real celebration, and maybe next year it could be bigger than ever. You know, maybe they'll have some TV special. We'll have a TV special. Let's just plan
There
it.
you go.
Put it out like that. We have a TV special. Make some things happen. But that's our time, y'all. We will be back tomorrow. And we appreciate you guys. Don't forget the Dope Living TV network is coming. It's going to be huge, everybody. It's going to be huge. And always keep supporting, because this is going to be there too, the Dope Living TV Live. These are some phenomenal entrepreneurs here, and got a lot to say. And we are going to change that narrative, all right?
Yeah.
Until tomorrow. I got to close with this.
You're beautiful. You're smart. You're loved. This week will be great. You got this. You're a badass. You can do this.
That's all she wrote. It's Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace out.